You know, as I'm sitting here playing Halo 3, a game that is almost 20 years old at this point, I've been thinking about the future, more specifically 2026. I'm going to be honest, the 2020s have been a bit of a roller coaster for gaming, mostly bad, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. We've had some bangers, but a lot of delays, early access headaches, remasters, broken launch titles, live service models that aren't working, and more. But honestly, 2026 is looking like the year the dam finally breaks, where the wall finally cracks. 2026, in my opinion, will be the best year of gaming in the decade, and I know that's a bold statement. Hey guys, it's Phantom, and today, let's look at some of the heavy hitters that are going to make the spotlight in 2026. We have to get started with the big one in the room, Grand Theft Auto 6. And by 2026, we should finally be back living in Vice City once again after almost 20 years. It's the most anticipated game of all time, but let's be real for a second. This is the Rockstar Games we're talking about. I have already prepared for the inevitable update tweet as to the fact that they might delay the game just because they want to improve the physics of a stray dog. If GTA 6 gets pushed past to 2027, I'm retiring, I'm out, don't fight me. It doesn't even matter anyway, because I play on PC now. I'm probably going to have to wait another year anyway just for the PC port to come out. Nonetheless, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out when I was 14 years old. I remember picking it off the shelf. The first copy I had of the game was on the PlayStation 3. And now 13 years later, we may finally have another Grand Theft Auto game. And I'm truly excited for this one coming out, whether it releases this year on PC or not. Next up, we got Marvel's Wolverine. And honestly, Insomniac is cooking again. After what they pulled off with Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, I feel like they've earned the right just to do whatever they want at this point. I'm fully expecting this game to be way grittier, way more violent, and just overall a different vibe from the friendly neighborhood stuff. This is the game you boot up after you've had a long day and you just want to turn off your brain and become a walking blender with claws. And the thing is, Wolverine isn't a character that you can water down. He is messy, he's brutal, he's got trauma layered on trauma. So if Insomniac leads into that darker tone, this could end up being one of the most mature Marvel games we've ever gotten. I'm talking bar fights, back alley, ambushes, the whole 9 yards. And if they give us that same smooth traversal and combat polish that they nailed with Spider-Man, but make it heavier and more grounded, yeah, this might be the one that takes over my life for a bit. I may have to wait about 6 to 12 months to play this one on PC, like Grand Theft Auto 5, but I will include it in the video anyway. Alright, now something a little bit different. One of my most anticipated vibey games of 2026, Mouse PI for Hire. This game has been living rent-free in my head ever since I saw the first trailer. The whole noir style that they're going for is just crazy good. Everything looks like it was dipped in a cigarette smoke and mystery, but in a cute way, if that makes sense. You're basically this tiny detective trying to solve big problems in a world that's way too large and way too dangerous for someone your size, and that's what makes it so cool. Every alleyway feels like a whole neighborhood, every shadow makes it feel like a threat, and every clue makes it feel like you're uncovering something way above your pay grade. It's that type of game that you play on a rainy night with some headphones on, just listening to the atmosphere as you pull in. It really gives me the vibes of some of those other Mickey Mouse type games, except with the noir title. Very Steamboat Willie-ish, if I may say so myself, and I'm really excited for this game coming out. Now we have IO Interactive, the same studio behind the Hitman series. It's taking on James Bond, and honestly, that feels like a match made in heaven. These are some of the people that have basically perfected the modern stealth sandbox. They turned every Hitman level into a little puzzle box where you can approach missions in hundreds of different ways, and it still feels smooth and intentional. So if they bring even half of the world of assassination depth into a James Bond game, we're looking at what could be the ultimate spy simulator. The cool thing is though, Bond isn't just a reskin Agent 47, he's flashier, he's more charismatic, he's got that whole suave but dangerous energy. So IO has a chance to really flex here and build something that feels familiar but is totally its own thing. If they nail the tone, the espionage, the tension, the big set pieces, this can easily be one of the most standout games of 2026. I'm keeping my eyes and expectations moderate on this one. I haven't played a James Bond game since honestly the Nintendo 64 version, way back in the day. I'm still keeping my expectations moderate on this one, and I'm going to go in as a fresh face, sort of, kind of. Alright, now this next one, this is easily my most anticipated game of the year. The Halloween game. Yes, Michael Myers is finally being scooped up by Dead by Daylight and getting his own full survivor horror title. And honestly, it's about time. That idea of playing as Michael or the survivors in Haddonfield feels like the perfect setup. It's got that Friday the 13th game vibe to it, where you're creeping around the neighborhood checking houses trying to find anything that helps you escape before the shape shows up behind you. And that's a coincidence because it actually is made by the same media company, Gun Media. As a Michael Myers fan, I'm hyped, but I'm not going to lie, I have that bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. I'm actually praying that Gun Media stays as far as it can away from this title. I cannot go through another heartbreak. I don't want to get attached to this game just to watch the servers get shut down 1 or 2 years later, just like what happened with Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Please let us play Michael Myers without the whole game disappearing into licensing limbo or not supporting the game years after release. That's all I'm asking. I'm not normally a guy that likes to pick up titles I'm not familiar with, especially as games have become more expensive. But let's talk about this little game called Crimson Desert, because this game has been floating around for years. Every time they drop new footage, it looks like somebody dared the developers to see how many insane systems they can cram into one game. It's like an open world RPG, an action game, a cinematic adventure game, and it has the physics playground rolled into one. The combat alone looks wild. You're out here suplexing people off of horses, throwing dudes into each other, launching them into the air like you're auditioning for a medieval WWE King of the Ring. And then 5 minutes later, you're fishing or arm wrestling or exploring the massive town that looks like it took a small army to build. It's got that next gen flex energy where the devs basically are saying, look at what we can do. What really sells me is that everything feels alive, towns are packed, the environment looks handcrafted, and the weather effects make it feel like you're actually traveling through harsh, unpredictable land. Almost like Red Dead Redemption. It's got that kind of game where you start to feel you're doing one quest and suddenly you're thrown 3 hours into the deep into something completely different because the world just keeps pulling you in. Now, other games in the past have sold us on this before, but as they come out, completely different from what the trailer has put into people's perspectives and minds. But I at least want to have some hope with this one. If they can deliver even half of what it's shown, Crimson Desert might end up being one of those games everybody talks about for years. I'm keeping my expectations realistic, but man, this one has serious potential. Now this game is pure style. It's all about close quarters gunplay mixed with martial arts. That super click choreographed chaos with every punch, kick, and bullet feels like it's part of a dance routine. Yes, I'm talking about the game Spine. This is Gun Fu. The animations are insane. You're sliding across tables, flipping over enemies, disarming people mid-combo. It's basically like an action movie that just lets you press buttons. The best part is, though, everything looks fluid. There's no awkward stiffness. There's no weird transitions. It's just non-stop momentum like you're fighting on instinct. Kind of reminds me of a combination between Batman Arkham games, Wet, and Mirror's Edge, if I may be honest. All of which are amazing games. What really grabs me is the tone. It's got that neon-drenched cyberpunk adjacent vibe without going full rainy city or too many holograms. It feels grounded but still futuristic enough to let you pull off these ridiculous moves without questioning it. And if the story ends up being even halfway decent, this could be one of those sleeper hits that everyone suddenly starts talking about. Before I wrap up, I want to shout out a few honorable mentions. Games that I didn't have enough time to dive deep into but are absolutely on my radar this year. Game called Soulframe, Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis, which I believe is a remake. I guess that's the first remake on this list. Game called Pragmata, which I'm actually really stoked for. Phantom Blade Zero, also a game that may or may not come out this year, but it's Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is one stacked lineup, man. And the best thing is, most if not all of these games are not remakes or remasters, just high quality looking games. When we look at all these games together, 2026 is looking like a return to normalcy, something that gamers have been craving for since 2018. In my opinion, that is the last time I enjoyed most of the games that I bought that year. But hey, what do you think? Am I dreaming too big, or is this the year that saves decades? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and I'll catch you in the next video. This has been your boy Phantom. Peace.